Good morning, folks. Welcome to another Facebook Live here on this Thursday morning. What is today, December 3rd? Holy cow. We're almost at Christmas. Well, we still have a few, like 3 weeks that you can work and do business. We are very fortunate today from the Menifee office of California to have with us Chris Lamoree. Chris, welcome to the show.
Hello there. Yay. Thanks for having me.
Look at the studio audience goes crazy. You can hear them, right?
Yeah, sure can. That's awesome.
All right, my man. Well, hey, I know you're in your real estate command center. That's what he calls it. Tell us a little about that too. But, once again, You're in California. We have agents in Arizona, Nevada, all over the place. So just start by tell us about yourself, how long you've been doing this, maybe a little production level, that type of thing, please.
Well, I've actually been doing this for about 10 and a half years. I got into the business when the real estate market was completely tanked. So everything I slogged through in the very beginning was short sales and foreclosures, and the market was still headed down. It didn't rock bottom out until the end of that first year that I was in it. And I remember my mentor at the time said, "Chris, if you can survive this, man, you are going to be fine in real estate for the rest of your life, because we've never seen it this bad ever, and it'll probably never get this bad ever again." And man, I stuck with it. Negotiating short sales, try to drum up business when people were losing their houses. And, what I found out was I really love this career because it allowed me to help people. I mean, that's really how I got started. When I was meeting people, walking around neighborhoods, farming, people were telling me that they were losing their houses. They didn't know what to do. They were trying to get modifications. They were fighting their banks, having to submit papers over and over and over. I realized that I could help. And some people were actually kind of seeing me as a beacon of hope. And, they would have me come on into their house as I was even walking around, handing out flyers and sit down and talk to them about their situation. And, that made me feel really, really good as far as, this career that I had just gotten started. And so it kind of grew from there. I've been in this 10 years. Subsequent to all of that, I ended up, becoming a certified senior real estate specialist because I was working with a lot of seniors in my church. And, seniors are a different, age group where, they've got only so much money in the bank. Typically, their life savings is tied up in a house, and they're very, very concerned with that final decision to sell off and, purchase another house. So again, it kind of made me feel like I was helping them, get through that. And I've enjoyed it ever since. And, here we are 2020 and trying to get through pandemic and all of that, and just, looking forward to what the next year lies ahead.
Yeah, I can already tell why you're successful, and whoever your mentor was correct. If you can survive. But I just want you to know that I've heard that I've been doing this for this month I can say this now, 36 years I've been in real estate, and I've been coaching for 25 of them. And this is the second time, 2007 to 2009 was the second time in my career I heard, yeah, it'll probably never be this bad again. Right, but the second financial crisis was worse than my first one in the late 80s, early 90s. So I tend to agree that was probably as bad as it gets. And if you haven't seen the movie The Big Short, anybody out there, or Chris yourself, see that movie, because it really kind of explains it really well. And you get a good idea of what happened and why that, But today's market, people are, even today, Chris, people are saying, well, this is a bubble. Is this a bubble? I'm like, bubble gum? I mean, no, there's no, this market is healthy. Back in 2007, if you ask somebody, like a lot of people I knew, how many homes you own? 7, 5. Today, they own their house, maybe an investment property or 2, but it's a wholesome, healthy market because it's all mostly arm's length and the lending institutions aren't going crazy. So we're going to see this continue for a while, I believe. And like you just said, too, even during a pandemic, we're having some pretty incredible numbers. And I know you are, and I know your manager, Jennifer Wentz, speaks very highly of you. She says that without you, that place would not be the same. That's what she told me. I just want you to know that.
No, you know what? She's awesome. We went through transition this past year with her coming on in, and man, she is motivated. She goes gangbusters. She supports our office. she's out there rooting us, cheering us on. So yeah, no, it's all Jennifer. I'm just happy to help out where I can.
Yeah, she is great, and all the charities and the wonderful things I saw with the mayor there. And what do you guys? Would you
Yeah.
guys donate like 6,000 pounds of food or something crazy like that? Right?
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, it was more than anything that the office had ever collected before. So it's very cool.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little about how you do your business and where it comes from and all that good stuff. I'd love to hear about that.
Well, yeah, I was kind of thinking about that. And, really my business over the years has kind of come from all sorts of different places. And, I remember when I first got started, with Tarbell many, many years ago, they told us as new agents, look, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You gotta be good at doing a handful of different things, as far as getting out there and trying to cultivate your business. So, I kind of took that to heart. For me, my primary, way that I marketed myself and grew my business in the early years was actually through farming, geographic farming. I'm the guy that would put on the bright colored T-shirt in the shorts, with the big stack of flyers that I made on yellow paper. I'd walk around and I'd door hang, door hang, door hang, door hang, and one, it's good exercise, but two, in addition to giving people something of value and something, that they could actually use as far as the information on the physical door hanger, it allowed me to kind of get out there and meet people like in their driveways. And, and by nature, I don't know if it comes across, but I think I'm more of an introverted type person than an extrovert. So for me, I actually have to work at it, to, build up the courage to go talk to people and all of that. And that's even 10 and a half into this. But what I found was by going out and actually physically walking my neighborhood, I was having conversations with real people, and I'd shoot the breeze for 10 minutes out in their driveway. And what I came to find is, in a year, 2 years later, when they needed the seller, when they needed something, they would call me and they would say, "Hey Chris, do you remember me?" And I'd say, "Well, yeah, of course I remember you. We talked about, your kids' sports or whatever it was, out on your driveway that one day." And so, that's mainly where my primary source of business comes from. Now, obviously, that's been affected, this year with the pandemic and, not being able to hand out stuff and all of that. But as I still kind of look at my production for this year, I can tell you that, a portion of it has come from my sphere. So it doesn't matter where I'm at or what I'm involved in. Somehow people are going to find out that I'm in real estate. And
Right.
I can't say that I actively push it on people that, hey, I'm a realtor, but I just have, organic conversations. So if I'm, dropping my kids off at school, my toddler at the daycare, wherever I'm at. And, I know you were kind of talking before the video about, the supermarket, wearing the name tag or wearing a shirt, with the company name on it. It's very easy to have conversations about real estate with people because people just kind of want to know where the market's at. And, I find I make connections that way. I'm fortunate enough that now I'm at a point in my business too where I've got past clients, coming back to me because now after 10 years, they're looking to buy up or get out of the state or do whatever. So I do have past clients that contact me. And then referrals too, which is really nice. I get out of the blue, phone calls from people and they say, "Oh, your past client, gave me your number and, I want you to come over and see if, you can help me out." So, yeah, it's been a handful of different, things. And then obviously using the tools that we have, online type tools, market valuation tools and all of that kind of come in handy. But, I don't put all of my to just those electronic tools because really, having the face-to-face conversations with people is going to be, I guess, the most memorable for them when it comes time to call a realtor.
That's great. No, I love it. Especially, you know what it is? It's kind of, I notice as a, in my travels being in California, Nevada, and Arizona, that other than like top agents like yourself, other than working their sphere really well, walking a farm seems to be popular. Where like in Arizona, they very rarely do that. Nevada agents do that, but in California, it seems like getting out there. Maybe it's because of the weather and but that's a great way to do business is getting out there.
Rick, I'll tell you what, but out here where we are in the Inland Empire, yeah, it'll get to about 115, 117, for like a 2 week period at the end of August. And I've always told new agents, you know, get a little towel and put it in your pocket and get out there and do it anyways. Because if you don't do it, it's not going to happen. And the same thing too, I can't tell you the number of times I've been out on a drizzly day where I'm trying to keep my marketing material, dry, under my jacket, and,
Yeah.
I remember one time I was at the opposite end of the round that I was making, around the block. And would you believe it opened up and started pouring on me? And then, I had to have been memorable for the neighbors looking out the window because there went that realtor like a flash. I ran back to my car because I was getting poured on. But you know what? That's one of those, again, it's like, rain or shine, 117-degree heat or not, just get out there and do it. And you know what? That's what my mentor taught me in the very beginning. When I complained to her, when she put me through those first 2 weeks, she said, suck it up, Chris, and go get yourself a nice pair of tennis shoes. And call me tomorrow and let me know that you did your next 200 houses.
Suck it up,
So that's
Buttercup.
no pain, no gain.
I love it. I love it. That's great. No, it is a great
Yeah.
activity. So have you been calling them while you can't door knock? Because I know in California, you guys are tight. Your governor's like
Yeah.
all about it.
Yeah, yeah. Not calls, texts and emails. Yeah,
Okay.
checking in with people. And what's really cool is the VAC now with the automated campaigns. When I imported a lot of the contacts I had in a previous tool, market valuation tool that I was using, I canceled it with the VAC 2.0. I imported all of the contacts in, and I got to tell you, it's so cool. I don't even think about it, and I got like six. Hey Chris, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Wishing you all the best. Just from the automated message, that went out like a week ago, whenever it was Thanksgiving, and so it's that that type of thing, that kind of keeps me front of mind. And then the other thing too, I've been to real estate seminars and they're plugging the latest and greatest tools and all of that kind of stuff. And I even remember being in one where they bashed the little mini calendar. But I gotta tell you, I do them every year. I'm in the middle of setting them up right now. Now this year I can't hand walk them out, unfortunately, and stick them on people's doors because that's what I would normally do. I'm paying a little extra and investing in stamps, and we're going to mail them out. I got my teenagers that are going to help me like an assembly line. But I can't tell you the number of listing presentations that I walk into and I smile because I see my face on their fridge.
Yeah.
So,
That
they work.
I think the calendars are awesome. I can't tell you how many people that just friends here. You go on the refrigerator is the calendar, or up on the side of it is the count. And
Yeah.
like you said, your face is on there. I have a guy in
Yeah.
California who actually has his own. This is hilarious. Has his own label made, and he puts it right. And he buys those big ketchups at Costco, and he puts his
Okay.
got a label that he sticks right over. It's probably illegal, but he does it, and it has his face on it and everything, and it's in their fridge all year round. I mean, it's a gigantic ketchup
Yeah.
that lasts a
Yeah.
year, and he gives it to him. So anything you can do, I mean, use your personality, be original. Okay, and obviously, I can tell people warm up to you because you definitely have an outgoing personality. I disagree with you. I don't think you're an introvert, or
Oh, thanks.
maybe you're just putting it on today. But you definitely have a outgoing way, and I can see why people warm up to you for sure. So
Oh,
okay,
thanks.
so we got your sphere, we got farming. I love the VAC 2.0. I tell these guys, if I had that when I started,
Mhm.
your job is to make sure by the end of the week you're organized with everybody you spoke to, who's getting auto stuff from you, how many people have you added, what are they getting? Are they getting neighborhood reports? Are they getting market reports? Are they getting the newsletter? Both, all of the above. There's so many options you can do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And that's the cool thing about it. And I think for me, one of my goals for next year is setting up all of my past clients, on the market reports, specific to their neighborhoods and drawing them all up. Because the ability to be able to give them just a check-in quarterly, I'm not bombing them, but again, kind of staying front of mind and giving them, useful information that they could use, I think would be really, really helpful for them. And again, it kind of keeps you memorable. One other thing that I do too, I'm a notary, and I did that on purpose after I joined real estate because I realized, hey, if I offer my past clients free notary service, it allows me one other opportunity again to kind of check in with them later. And while we're sitting there notarizing, we're talking about real estate, we're talking about their house. I'm asking, do they happen to know anybody else, that might be interested in buying and selling? And again, the cost for taking the notary class and then, buying the supplies and only having to renew it every several years, to me, it's a worthwhile investment, to be able to have a conversation with a client that's going to come find me,
Right.
after the close of escrow. So that's something else that I do too.
Yeah, especially if they have you notarize their new will, you can say, by the way, I noticed that I wasn't in your will. So if you pass away, as your realtor, do we have a problem? No.
Well, speaking of will, and again, I do deal with a lot of senior clients. I did have one. I have an investor friend who I've kind of helped out over the years, and he was hoping to end up with 10 investment properties. And I think if I remember right, I got him 5, and then he kind of ran out of steam at 8, and then he was good. But with the will,
Okay.
he did say, "Hey, Chris, just so you know, if I pass away, my wife knows where to find all the paperwork, but you are going to be the realtor to undo all of this. Okay, you got to be the one that's going to sell all this stuff off, and I've already got it, set up which properties are going to go first and all of that. So if you need to remind my wife, remember, to come talk to her so that you can start selling them." So I said,
That,
"Okay, cool. I'll take it when the time comes."
well, especially since you know the whole pattern and the whole story. I will tell you, because I did a lot of farming activities, but in my area. So like
Yeah.
I had kids call me. When I say kids, like my age, my mother passed away. My mother, we put her in a home, and we found this package in her safe. She had a note to call you. And so when you're in front of people, and it's like you said, okay. I like to call it reverse prospecting. You call your sphere, you call people, you check in. You don't even bring up real estate because they're going to anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it comes across a lot better. Plus, if you actually care about people, and I can tell you do, you're going to do a lot of business in this business.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just, I'm honestly, I just try to give it to my all to everybody. And I'm not perfect. But my reputation is everything to me.
Yeah,
And so, when I'm talking to my clients and they're telling me that they trust me because I'm a referral, or they trust me because they know me through the church, or they know me through my kids and all of that, that's important to me. And I'm certainly not looking to screw anybody. And the last thing I would like to do is blow it and make an oopsie on somebody. So
right.
yeah, I try to give my clients my best.
Good. Well, speaking of that, okay, so we've come to the time where I ask my favorite question. So you've been doing this for a little over 10 years, heading into your 11th year, which is great. So if you could do this all over again, talking to the new people, or maybe somebody trying to take their business to the next level, what are the 3 most important pieces of advice you tell them?
Oh my goodness. Well, for me, I've had my fair share of ups and downs through the years. And when it comes to production and whether it's my overall sales volume, or the number of houses sold, because I do a lot of mobile homes, and so sometimes I can be really busy but then end up making less money because I'm selling smaller properties. But the one thing that I can tell you is, if you decide to do something like you're getting into mobile homes, don't forget to be consistent with where the bread and butter is. So
Right.
whatever you're doing to cultivate your business on, whatever you're doing, if you're a luxury agent, whether you're, single family resident agent or whatever, you got to make sure that you've always got those plates spinning in the background. So with, having time for farming, having time to get out there in the neighborhoods, I where I get busy doing other things, and then that all kind of shuts down, and then I look back and go, oh crud, I wasn't out there farming, and now I've got this lull, and you end up with this few month lull. But the good news is it's like a muscle, that you stop working out after a while, but then later you work it out and it comes back quick. The same thing with farming. I can get out there after a few months gap, and then the people are like, oh, aren't you that guy that's been putting the flyers on my houses for years? They don't
Right.
say, aren't you that guy that stopped giving me flyers for the last 3 months in a row? And so they still remember you, and then you
Yeah.
can kind of pick it up. So I would say the consistency piece is number one. I think that keeping in touch with past clients, um, I think is really, really important. And I mentioned to you a couple of the ways that I did it, but with the VAC 2.0, allowing this automation, and again with these holidays where I'm getting like random, thank yous back from clients, and I, I just set it up the one time. I'm seeing the power in, that tool just kind of out there, always working its magic kind of behind the scenes for me. So continuing to go in, pull out all those old emails from past clients and people I know and all of that kind of stuff, I think is going to be, really, really key advice. And then social media. And the only reason I bring up social media is maybe is more of a challenge for myself because I'm not a social media guy. So, I talked about being introverted and all of that. I am not the guy that wants to see myself on the screen. I'm not the guy that wants to make a video and all of that. But I do see the power in it. I do see how people can be successful with it. My wife has her own business and she's awesome at social media. And I hear all of the success that she has, with people connecting to her and, connecting with what she has to say and what it is that she's trying to sell and all of that kind of stuff. And I look at her and I go, man, she makes it look so easy. And for me, it's just something that, I got to jump into the deep end of the pool. And I don't know if somebody's got to push me, but I know I got to get in there
Yes.
and I got to do it because
You
that's going
know,
to probably be important for me.
well, I know Jennifer will. Jennifer does a good job at social media. Look at it this
Yeah.
way too. It's what it's like. It's like a journal for you as well. So that's why you put some business, you put some personal, you put some hobby, you put some, like you mentioned door knocking. I would take that Videolicious app that we have.
Yeah.
By the way, just the name makes me want to use it.
Yeah.
I feel like we spent a lot of money partnering up with Beyonce to get that
Uh-huh.
name. I'm only kidding,
Oh,
by the way.
yeah.
We did. But Videolicious, walk around with the app. Hey, this is Rick. I'm out here today on Oak Street on my farm prospecting for. And I would post those types of videos because people love. We live in a world where, think about this, non-reality shows are the most popular, pretty much. That's what I call them, non-reality, because there's
Yeah.
a little slice of non-reality in those reality shows, and because
Yeah.
people love to see what you're doing. All right, nobody
Yeah.
does the
And I
perfect
think,
video, Chris. So just take a stab at it. I'm sure you'll be great.
well, and and the coming generation though, it's all social media.
Yeah.
It's all that, and that's the thing. I remember when I started this, 10 years ago, and we were talking about the millennials. The millennials are getting the age where they're going to be buying houses and all of that kind of stuff. And now here we are 10 years later, right? And we're not talking about the millennials anymore. It's going to be, the Z generation and all of these, kids that are upcoming. And my kids, I've got 4 kids, 3 of them are teenagers, social media, online all the time. And again, with the success that I've seen my wife have in her own business, I'm just looking at this going, man, I know I'm personally late, but whoever is getting into the business today, you got to start it today because this is really, where it's going to be at in the future.
Yep.
So,
Wait
yeah,
a minute. You have 3 teenagers all at the same time in your house? Wow.
18, 16, 14, and an almost 3-year-old.
Wow. You're going right. Paul hit it right. You're going right to
It's a
sainthood, my
party
friend.
here.
Yes.
What's that?
You're going right to sainthood.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
you see these bags under my eyes? They weren't here a while ago.
No, you see, you look good on video. I don't see any bags.
Oh, thank you. Paul edited them out.
Paul did a little, makeup on you now, visually
Yeah,
or virtually, I
I'll
should say.
take it. Yeah.
All right, so those are awesome points. I really appreciate it. Any final words you want to leave them with today, Chris?
No, I would just say, guys, it's kind of a crazy world right now, but really try to stay as positive as possible. And honestly, I think 2021 is gonna just absolutely pop. I think real estate is gonna go off like a bomb. It's not following any of the rules right now. The normal lull that we would start seeing going into winter and all that. I just had 3 listing presentations, and these are all with people in my sphere. And so I'm going to end up with 3 new listings here in the next month or so. And they're asking me, when's the best time of year to sell? And I'm like, you know what? Right now. It's an inventory shortage, and COVID is kind of messing things up, and buyers are still clamoring to buy houses. So, I'm looking forward to 2021 being just as frenzied, which is a great place to be. And, as things start to kind of loosen up with the world, and maybe there's going to be a vaccine, and maybe, people are going to start kind of going back to normal and stuff, I think it's just going to honestly kind of open the floodgates, to real estate. And the agents that are prepared now to start catching that when it comes, are probably going to be in the best position, to make some decent money in 2021.
Yeah, I totally agree. What you just said. I mean, all the experts, I mean, they're not stumped anymore because it just keeps continuing. With the pandemic, with the job market, with the unemployment rate that basically tripled for a while, now has come back to half, a little better than half. The real estate market is still increasing incredibly. Every morning you see somebody predicting an adjustment in the stock market. It just went over 30,000, the Dow.
Yeah.
What do they say? The Nasdaq has hit 27 records, and the S&P just about. So you're right. It's defying all conventional logic, traditional logic, and continuing. And I believe you. I agree with you 100%. These next few years in real estate are going to be incredible. So actually don't put your seatbelt on. Here's my new saying. I stole it from an agent in your office, by the way. Okay, Vanessa Lawrence. Getting it done in 2021. All right.
Oh, there you go. Love it.
There you go. All right, man. Keep it rocking. You're the best. I really appreciate you taking your time. Everybody, we'll do this again next week.
Awesome. You
Thanks,
got
Chris.
it.
Thanks for taking your time on, man.
Sure thing. Thank you.
See you soon. Thank you.